Good morning, Senior High. Welcome once again to another fun and exciting lesson to start your day right. My name is Sir Darwin and I will be with you today as your learning buddy while you take another step to improve your skills in reading and writing. So, what are you waiting for? Put your thinking cap on and let's get started. In your previous lesson in reading and writing, you have learned how organization, cohesion, and coherence are all important properties of a well-written text. And by well-written text, we mean that it is a text that effectively conveys the message, topic, or issue to unintended audience. And before we go straight to your next topic, why don't we have a quick recap of your previous lessons? I will flash a statement on your screen and all you must do is draw a smiley face on your notepad if the statement is true. And if the statement is false, you draw a sad face. Are you ready? Here goes.
Number 1. To achieve coherence, a paragraph must express one unified idea. Let me repeat. To achieve coherence, a paragraph must express one unified idea. And the answer is true. Coherence refers to how sentences in a paragraph support its main idea or topic sentence. Number 2. Cohesion generally refers to the proper use of linking and transition words between words and sentences. Again, cohesion generally refers to the proper use of linking and transition words between words and sentences. And the answer is true. If coherence looks at the macro level of a paragraph, which means it looks at its overall flow and structure, cohesion, on the other hand, is concerned with the micro level or how the sentences are stitched together so that one sentence smoothly flows or transitions to the other. Number 3. In addition, furthermore, and moreover are examples of words that show contrast. Again, in addition, furthermore, and moreover are examples of words that show contrast. The answer is, of course, false. In addition, furthermore, and moreover are examples of transition words that express additional information. Examples of transition words that express contrast are, on the other hand, however, on the contrary, and nonetheless. Number 4. A well-organized piece of writing is clear, logical, and aesthetic. Again, a well-organized piece of writing is clear, logical, and aesthetic. And the answer is true. Clarity, coherence, and aesthetics are all important characteristics of a well-written text.
Today we are going to talk about the fourth property that you need to consider so that you can write an effective and well-written text. And that fourth property is language use.
These are the objectives for today's lesson. At the end of this program, you, my dear learner, are expected to determine the importance of using appropriate language in written texts, identify text that properly expresses academic tone, and use proper and effective language in writing a formal letter.
You might not be aware of it, but the kind of language that you use when you interact with people around you adapts or changes depending on the kind of context and receiver or audience of your message.
On page 31 of your module, 3 students are talking to each other. Let's listen closely to how each of them uses the language. Arnold. What's up, everyone? A newbie here. Man, cool. Greg. If you want me to be part of your circle, it would be my honor to take part of this friendship. Arnulfo. Excuse me? Yes, we can be friends and it's a pleasure for me.
What have you noticed with the way they use the language? You are right. Arnold's use of words such as "what's up" or "newbie" can be regarded as an informal form of language. In fact, those words are considered too colloquial, which is defined as casual language where idioms, figures of speech, slang, and jargons are used. You must remember that this kind of language is what you usually use when you talk with your friends or to people who are close to you. Greg's use of the language is what we may call very formal. As you might have probably noticed, he uses a lot of words to express himself. Now, this kind of language is mostly used in speeches and informal gatherings. You do not use this kind of talk in everyday conversations. Arnulfo's use of the language stands in the middle ground because it is neither too formal nor colloquial. Now, this is the kind of language that you may use in your everyday conversations. Now, this is practically the same thing when we write. We choose the kind of language to use by taking note of our target audience and the purpose of our written text.
Listen to this letter I am going to read to you and observe the kind of language used by the student to address his principal. Hi, Mr. Fernandez. What's up? I hope you're okay. The members of the Supreme Student Council are planning to hold a virtual seminar to give information to our students and their parents about the COVID-19 virus. Don't you worry, because details of the conduct of this thing will be sent to you soon. We're sure you'll like this idea. Keep safe and see you soon.
The kind of language in this letter should not be used when you are addressing a person in authority, such as your teachers or your principal. Most especially since a school is an academic setting, then it is only proper that the language you should use is academic language. In writing, academic language is characterized by being formal, serious, authoritative, and factual. And this is the reason why the writer needs a wide vocabulary, a good command of the language, and good writing skills to construct sentences and paragraphs that are clear, coherent, accurate, and sensitive to your target audience and reader. Academic language is the kind of language that we use when we write our formal letters, formal essays, scientific reports, research paper, and book reviews. When writing using the academic language, there are several things that you need to avoid so you can maintain the formal nature of your academic writing. A contraction is formed by combining or shortening two words to form a single word, such as don't, won't, shouldn't, didn't, or wasn't. Contractions are mainly used in informal writing and in casual conversations, so you should avoid them when you are writing your formal essays and formal letters to maintain the academic tone. Instead, use the words do not, will not, should not, did not, or was not. Colloquial language is avoided in scholarly writing because you only use it in casual conversations and informal writing. Figures of speech, slang, jargon, idioms, and other informal expressions are examples of colloquial language. Just like contractions, phrasal verbs take away or remove the academic tone of your writing. Examples of phrasal verbs are talk about, go down, get better, bring up, look up to. Instead of using these phrasal verbs, use more precise words such as discuss, decrease, improve, raise, admire. It is important to note that using these more precise and nuanced words reflects your wide vocabulary. Avoid using vague words in academic writing. Listen to these sample sentences. The movie is bad. The report mentions a lot of things. The painting looks nice. Using words such as bad, thinks, or nice does not show clarity in your statements, and it reflects limited vocabulary on your part. So, it is better to include specific details in your statements to add clarity and information. Biased statement or biased language must be avoided because they express insensitivity and they may also offend or hurt other people. Biased language includes expressions that demean or exclude people because of age, race, sex, ethnicity, social class, and physical or mental traits. And those are the basic things you need to remember if you want to use academic language in your writing. I understand that all that information can be a bit too much, and this is the reason why it takes a lot of practice to master them. At this point, let's have a short quiz just to check how well you understood the lesson. Go grab your pen and paper to write down your answer, and here we go. Write the word cool if the statement reflects formal or academic tone. Write the word uncool if it does not. Are you ready? Let's begin. Number 1. Research shows that washing hands frequently with soap may reduce the chances of getting infected with COVID-19 virus. Again, research shows that washing hands frequently with soap may reduce the chances of getting infected with COVID-19 virus. And the answer is cool. The statement reflects academic tone through its use of verifiable information. Number 2. Men and women have their own specific roles to keep. While men work to provide the financial needs of the family, women should do their part by doing the household chores. I repeat, men and women have their own specific roles to keep. While men work to provide the financial needs of the family, women should do their part by doing the household chores. And the answer is uncool. And this is because it expresses bias and discrimination against women, even though it uses words that can be regarded as formal. So be careful with that. Number 3. A lot of stuff is happening in our country right now, so we should always be updated by watching the news on TV. Again, a lot of stuff is happening in our country right now, so we should always be updated by watching the news on TV. And the answer is uncool. This one is obvious, don't you think? The use of the phrase "a lot of stuff" is one perfect example of vague expressions because it does not specify what it is referring to, and that is one thing we should avoid in academic writing. Also, the information is not accurate because TV is not the only source of news. Radio and social media can also be reliable sources. Number 4. Thank you so much for your interest to join us in this endeavor to help our Filipino community in this time of crisis. Again, thank you so much for your interest to join us in this endeavor to help our Filipino community in this time of crisis. And the answer is cool. This is one good example of a statement usually found in formal letters that not only expresses formality, but also shows respect to the recipient or receiver of the letter. So, how did it go? I am sure you did well in that quiz, so give yourself a good pat on the back. Just like what I have mentioned earlier, it really takes time to master the art of academic writing. You need to read a lot in order to expose yourself to different kinds of writing. And this will also improve your vocabulary. And in the process of constantly writing, your writing, may it be formal or informal, will eventually improve. So, That should be your mantra. Read a lot, write a lot. I am sure you are aware of the community pantries that have been trending recently on the news and even on social media. It is truly inspiring how this phenomenon has brought to life the bayanihan spirit among Filipinos during this time of pandemic.
So in this part of our episode, you will assume the role of a Sangguniang Kabataan chairperson who plans to start a community pantry in your barangay and seeks the assistance of the barangay officials in the conduct of the project. To officially begin with your project, you will have to write a formal letter addressed to your barangay captain. This activity will be your homework, so you may work on it whenever you are ready. Just keep in mind all the guidelines in academic writing and trust me on this, you can't go wrong. This will be our rubric for this writing activity.
There you have it, my dear learner. I really hope you learned a lot today. Don't forget to write your formal letter homework. Of course, you can go to your parents or your siblings if you need help with your task. As an additional activity to really hone your writing skills, please work on the activity on page 32 of your module. You can write your answers on clean sheets of paper, then submit them to your subject teacher when you are done.
To reflect on the concepts and insights you have learned today, please complete the following prompts and write them in your notebook. At the end of the lesson or activity, I understand that the lesson or activity helped me realize that what really motivated me to finish the task was. These will all serve as your personal reflections for today.
And this ends our lesson on language use. Once again, I am Sir Darwin, your ever reliable learning buddy in reading and writing. Until next time, keep safe and peace out.